desperate times. As far as I can tell, we're all in close decline. My pockets are all empty and my bank is too. I've lost my job, I don't know what to do. I've consolidated debt into a massive chunk. Cancelled at the gym, I don't get out that much. My bank has disappeared into a big black hole. I turn the heating up to try and burn less coal. I'm feeling the pinch is true. Come on, I know you feel it too. You're in the crunch, you're in the credit crunch. The credit crunch, you can't afford your lunch. Nothing to munch. It's called the credit crunch. I'm gonna cry all night.
Welcome to a special show to discuss the rise in popularity of the alternative media. On my left is Tony, who is the head of human resources in a large organization in the UK. Left of Tony is Vi, who is the chat show host in the US. And next to Vi is George, who is on the senior management team with Tony. Okay, Tony, I believe that you wish to talk about the merits of the alternative media.
That's correct. But just before I do, I want you to look at the following clip from a chat show hosted by TC on the 19th of January 2012. I truly believe that Ron Paul is the only hope in the US. Ron Paul is not backed by the multinational corporations, therefore I doubt he will get the Republican nomination.
Who is this Ron Paul?
There you go. I rest my case. The mainstream media do not back him. Would you agree, TC?
Anyway, moving on.
Any observations from that clip?
Okay, man. So I didn't know who Ron Paul was.
Actually, the observation that I wanted you to spot was that TC evaded the question. He is part of the mainstream media and it is not in his interest to promote Ron Paul as he is not backed by multinational corporations.
Tony is correct. The mainstream media is biased. You only have to look at the Leveson inquiry to see that Rupert Murdoch controlled the media and the politicians sang to his tune. Indeed, the alternative media is a breath of fresh air.
The alternative media gives us a chance to see matters from a different perspective. Think about this. If you were born on an island that was cut off from the rest of the world, you would be less likely to challenge the belief systems that had been passed down from previous generations. The same is true if we had only access to the mainstream media. We would tend to believe what was said. Alternative media gives us a different perspective and therefore provides an opportunity to challenge the mainstream media. Today we have the opportunity to travel around the world and observe different belief systems. Critical thinkers such as myself have started to question our own belief systems.
Tony is being rather polite. I, on the other hand, will be more blunt. Priests, politicians and the banking elite play on their power. As far as I am concerned, religion is a tool to keep many of us in our place. Too many people lack critical thinking and blindly follow without question.
May the Lord strike you down for saying that.
Hey, don't worry. It's just our sound engineer having a laugh.
Many priests have been exposed for what they really are, and that's thanks to our more mature and enlightened society. Politicians have been exposed regarding their corrupt practices. Many politicians in the UK were fiddling their expenses and only said sorry when they were found out. When it comes to the banking elite, I really don't know where to start.
Okay, it seems that you know the problems, but what are the solutions?
I cannot see a solution in the near future. Many of us are starting to wake up to the corrupt practices but feel powerless to do anything about it.
Again, I shall go one step further. Over the decades, many of us became fat, lazy, complacent, stupid, arrogant and ignorant. Our cushy lifestyle is coming to an end. The mainstream media is trying to prolong the illusion of wealth, but just look at the caption behind me. We have already gone over the cliff. We are suspended in mid-air for a short while until reality dawns. At least the alternative media are trying to wake us up.
Have a look at this clip from Gregory Mannarino.
Hi everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? Alright guys, I want to talk to you about something I've spoken about in the past a few times, but it's something that is so poorly understood, and it's so urgent, and it's so important that I want to speak about it again right now. Now, I hear from a lot of you guys all the time, and I really appreciate that. And it just led me to start thinking about this particular topic once again, because I always discuss issues regarding debt, the debt bubble, but it's not this particular bubble, the debt bubble that I refer to all the time, is unlike any other economic bubble in the history of the world. The debt bubble, this particular financial bubble, has the potential and will wipe out a large percentage of the world's population when it bursts. As a matter of fact, the dangers posed by this particular bubble are greater than a nuclear exchange. Talking about human life, the loss of human life. Allow me to elaborate a little bit more on this so you can get a better picture of where I'm going with this. Right now, we understand there is a debt crisis in Europe. It's no secret. The policymakers, their solution is to add more debt to the debt. Now, this is no solution for those of you out there that understand how this works. Let me just back up a moment and explain to you that the monetary systems that have been adopted by the modern world are fiat, meaning they're not backed by anything. It's money created out of thin air. It is simply debt. That's all it is. It's bills and coins that are owned and owed back to the issuing central bank plus interest. Interest that they print out of thin air. Now, I've been over this. That particular scheme that I just told you is the biggest Ponzi scam in the world. In the world history, in human history, there's not a greater one than that.
VI, this is the reality. At least the alternative media are trying to warn us and tell the truth. The mainstream media do not correctly portray the true picture. We are truly in desperate times.
Thank you, George. Well, that's all we have time for.
I'm trying hard to stay happy in these desperate times. As far as I can tell, we're all in close decline. My pockets are all empty and my bank is too. I've lost my job, I don't know what to do. I've consolidated debt into a massive chunk. Cancelled at the gym, I don't get out that much. My bank has disappeared into a big black hole. I turn the heating up to try and burn less coal. I'm feeling the pinch, it's true. Come on, I know you're feeling it too. You're in the crunch, you're in the credit crunch. The credit crunch, you can't afford your lunch. It's called the credit crunch with a cry.